The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
I wish I had as much luck with women as I do with Vu. I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it that way. News Talk is online. I got him to agree to call in, didn't I? News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. Yeah, I can hear the rumors too. On demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can post your comments on what I write. Whether you agree with me or not matters not. And thanks to our friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated across the United States into 12 million additional households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. The issue at hand is the United States Supreme Court striking down the gun ordinance in Washington, D.C. We're going to get to that in a second. Alan Jacey, remember yesterday I had this little, I don't know, diatribe or something? Is that the word? Where I was just spouting off. I was like an angry guy over our government and over our news media. And I said that a guy I know who just returned from active duty, a citizen soldier in Iraq, said, hey, the reporters are there, and they're seeing that we are winning this war, and they're filing their stories, but they can't get the stories on the air or in their papers. Do you remember I said that yesterday?
Sure do.
Did you see this article in the Daily News today about CBS's correspondent, Lara Logan?
No,
Listen
I didn't.
to this. Here's the story. I'm going to read you the top of the story.
From Entertainment Tonight or one of those shows, The Inside?
Now that I don't know. But listen to this. Want a promotion? Try going on TV to call your bosses idiots. By the way, for those of you who work for Paltalk, and you especially, Alan, it doesn't work in this organization. Thank you very much. But it did work for CBS News war correspondent Lara Logan, who made a splash on The Daily Show last week by complaining that her reports from Baghdad never get on the air because the network prefers fluff. If I were to watch the news that you get here in the United States, I would just blow my brains out because it would drive me nuts, Logan told host Jon Stewart. Time to hide the weaponry. Logan, 37, is being relocated to Washington with a new title, Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent, the network announced yesterday. What do you think about that?
Sounds like a well-deserved promotion if you're somebody who is criticizing a regime and they can't fire you.
Nah, the point is that she agrees with my friend's observation that things are going, well, stories that are being filed from Iraq aren't getting on the air and not getting in the newspaper. And why not? If we're going to sit here, as many Americans are, and non-Americans, complaining about this war in Iraq, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, it's a big issue, it's a big story, and there's nothing about it in the papers any longer. Very, very little in the papers, almost nothing on radio and television any longer. When was the last time you heard a story off of Paltalk about Iraq? Really?
But, Gary, when you do hear about it, it's usually about it, it comes up in a poll. Like yesterday, we did hear about it. You brought it up, but it was about the poll, that John McCain was polling better on Iraq than Barack Obama. None of what's happening on the ground, what's happening in Fallujah or Sadr City, nothing like that. But we are hearing what's happening in the polls.
Yes, this is true. Anyway, it was kind of interesting and coincidental that I made mention of this yesterday, and here there's some support for that point of view. I want to read to you 27 words, ladies and gentlemen, because these 27 words are the words upon which the justices of the United States Supreme Court rendered their decision today about the handgun ban in Washington, D.C. 27 words, please bear with me. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I almost got through it without screwing up. Until today, the United States Supreme Court has not made a formal announcement on whether this sentence means individuals have the right to own guns, but they did today. The Supreme Court struck down Washington, D.C.'s ban on handguns, declaring that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to own guns for self-defense. Now, you'll recall, my longtime listeners, that an organization that filed an amicus brief on this case in support of striking down the extremely restrictive ban in Washington, D.C., which makes it illegal if you were grandfathered in and had a gun prior to the ordinance taking effect. Makes it illegal for you to move the gun from one room in your house to another. I'm not kidding you. It was a very, very restrictive law, and it was a great one for the Second Amendment advocates to go after because it was so overly restrictive. As to make it an easy target. And now the Supreme Court has ruled and set the precedent. What do you think about this, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go to, who am I going to first? Trevor in Florida? Trevor, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Lush suggests that the answer is to have a gun in every room. That's pretty funny. Trevor, are you with me?
Yeah, Gary.